Welcome to the unit Personality Development. This unit helps in shaping good personality through language. The unit Personality Development is classified into 3 reading sections. They are: A. Attitude is altitude. B. Every success story is also a story of great failures. C. I will do it. Welcome to the reading section. Attitude is altitude of the unit Personality Development.
Overview. Let us have a look at the overview. The overview slide consists of 3 sections, namely Introduction, Instruction, and Evaluation. The Introduction section is meant to motivate the student to learn the lesson. The Instruction section divides the contents of the lesson into 4 subsections. They are Content, Communication, Constructive Components, and Enrichment Activities. The lesson is covered under Content. All the activities pertaining to the 4 skills of language and their assessment are covered under the sections Communication and the Constructive Components. The enrichment activities are meant to widen the scope of the student's thinking and learning, thereby making him or her a global citizen. The extent of understanding of the module can be assessed by the student under the evaluation section.
Learning objectives. By the end of this section, you will be able to explain personality, illustrate essence of attitude, describe the qualities required for the development of personality, write biography sketch, distinguish between defining relative clause and non-defining relative clause, list out the adjectives related to Nick's personality.
Introduction to personality.
What comes to your mind when you hear the word personality? What are the major characteristics you possess, positive or negative?
Let us do a small activity. Drag the characteristics that genuinely suit you into appropriate group.
What is personality? Personality does not mean just physical appearance that is seen from outside. More importantly, it is the combination of characteristics of an individual. Personality includes our way of thinking, how we behave with others in the society, our confidence levels, how well we can communicate with others, Are we of positive attitude or negative attitude? How we maintain our body language? How we deal with someone who is inferior physically, mentally, and economically to us? How important is personality? If one wants to reach the set destinations and succeed in life, it is really important to own positive attitude. It is always proved that a person with good personality and positive attitude has reached great heights in his or her life. We should also keep trying till the goal is reached without giving up. India always produced great personalities who inspired the whole nation. Look at the images of few people given on the screen. Have you ever seen or heard of these people? What is the similarity we observe in them? What qualities made these people great? What type of dance is Sudha Chandran demonstrating? Can you guess how Helen Keller got educated through being blind, deaf and dumb? Which country does Stephen Hawking belong to? Do you know the difference between dress and costume? The topic Attitude is Altitude describes how determination and positive attitude made Mr. Nick Vujicic an ideal personality to look up to. His physical disability of having no limbs did not stop him from being a successful person in the world and enjoying life in general. His life journey is a great source of inspiration for many. The son of a computer programmer and a female nurse, Nick was admitted to a general school rather than a special school in his childhood. In order to make his son independent, Nick's father taught his son typing with the help of his toe at the age of 6. Nick claims his small toe as his chicken drumstick. Nick believed in evangelical Christianity and chosen to remain a virgin until marriage. He was humiliated mentally many a times by his co-students and others. Once he even took an extreme step at the age of 10 by trying to drown himself in the bathtub, but his attempt was not successful luckily. His life proves that disability does not hinder the success if one's intentions and aims are strong enough. Today, he delivers motivational speeches all over the world by setting an example to others. Let us also focus on Nick's achievements. At the tender age of 18 months, Nick learned to swim with the help of his father. In 1990, he won the Australian Young Citizen of the Year award for his bravery and perseverance. Nick is a certified surfer too and graced the Surfer magazine with 48 hours of his achievement. He can spin 360 degrees on his board. Besides water sports, he also plays football and golf. As a motivational speaker, he has traveled in 24 countries and delivered speeches before the groups of large audience up to 110,000. Now, let us learn about defining and non-defining relative clauses. Look at the given example. The boy who scored 98% marks in the exams was awarded a certificate. In the example, the bolded phrase is given crucial information, that is, which boy we are talking about. In other words, it is defining the subject by answering the question, which boy? A particular boy who scored 98% marks out of a group of boys. That is why it is called as defining relative clause. So, defining relative clause provides crucial information to understand which person or thing we are talking about in a sentence. When the defining relative clause is removed, the sentence loses its sense. We don't use commas to separate the defining relative clause from the sentence. Identify the suitable relative pronoun by clicking an option. Now, let us learn about non-defining relative clauses. Look at the given example. Tata Nano car, which costs just 1 lakh rupees, gives good mileage. In the example, the bolded phrase is not defining the subject, which is Tata Nano car, but it is providing some additional information about the subject. That is why this clause is called non-defining relative clause. Non-defining relative clauses provide additional information about the subject in the sentence. The sentence retains its meaning even after the clause is removed. We use commas to separate the non-defining relative clauses from the sentence. Click the sentence that has correct punctuation marks. Find out if the clauses in the following sentences are defining or non-defining relative clauses and click the right option. In the following non-defining clauses, check if the comma or hyphen is placed at the right place or not. Complete the given sentences with defining or non-defining relative clauses. The first 5 are given for you. Practice by placing commas at the right place in the following non-defining relative clauses. Let us learn what a biographical sketch is. A biographical sketch is the description of a person's life history written by another person. It includes the person's name, character, education, occupation, achievements, contributions, and other important details. Usually, biographies are short and specific. When the life history of a person is written by himself or herself, it is called an autobiography. There are few guidelines to be followed while writing a biographical sketch. Let us learn about them. Date and place of birth, family information, important events in life like education, relationships, etc., awards and honors, achievements and contributions to the field, and fame, legacy. Let us look at biographical sketch of Sachin Tendulkar written based on the clues we have discussed. Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar was born on 24th of April 1973 in Bombay. He was born in a middle-class family. He was the youngest of the 4 children of Ramesh Tendulkar and Rajni. He married Anjali on 24th May 1995. Sachin Tendulkar was introduced to cricket by his brother Ajit Tendulkar in 1984. His first cricket coach was Achrekar. Tendulkar used to practice in the net for hours together. As a professional cricketer, Sachin represented Mumbai in Ranji Trophy on 14 November 1987. On 11 December 1988, at the age of 15, he scored his debut century against Gujarat team. He was honored with Arjuna Award in 1994, Padma Shri in 1999, Padma Vibhushan in 2008 and Bharat Ratna in 2014. He is the first cricketer in the world to score double century in ODI. He played 200 test matches and 463 ODIs. He scored 15,921 runs in tests and 18,426 in ODIs. He even served as a captain of Indian cricket team. He played the role of match winner in many matches. His wax statue is set up in Madame Tussauds, London. Sachin Tendulkar is always seen as a benchmark for cricket. His achievements and contributions to India and Indian cricket team are everlasting. Now, based on the clues provided, write a biographical sketch of Stephen Hawking. You have got an idea how to write a biographical sketch. Now, consider your favorite actor, sportsperson or role model. Write biographical sketch by collecting the details like name, date of birth, place of birth, family details, education, achievements, awards and honor or fame, etc. Glossary. The meanings of certain words along with their usage in a sentence are shown. Click respective audio buttons to listen to the pronunciation of each word. Adversity, bully, chicken drumstick, club, conviction, perseverance, focomelia, propeller, skateboard, surf, torso, triumph,
Virgin.
Observe given group of words representing different characteristics. And the removed words denote negative characteristics that don't suit Nick. Now, using the above positive characteristics, write statements that reflect Nick's personality. First four are given for your reference in the below table. Look up the meaning of following words in the dictionary. Also, find if it represents positive attitude or negative attitude. First three words are explained for you. Click the words for details. Now, find out meaning of the following words and categorize them into positive or negative characters by dragging into appropriate group. Type the word in the space which has nearest meaning to the word or phrase underlined. Comprehension. Identify the word that has the nearest meaning to the underlined word by clicking the appropriate option. Read the following descriptions about persons and fill in the blanks with the words that match with the descriptions by dragging and dropping the appropriate word. Read the questions and try to attempt the answers on your own. You can click Answer for reference. Now, answer the following questions. Let us now observe quotes of few successful people. There are two ways to live. You can live as if nothing is a miracle. You can as if everything is a miracle. Albert Einstein. Strength is life and weakness is death. Swami Vivekanand. You have to have a lot of passion for what you are doing because it is so hard. If you don't, any rational person would give up. Steve Jobs. Summary. The section Attitude is Altitude is described taking Nick Vujicic's life as an example. Nick was born with no limbs but with a small foot on his left hip. Still, he is leading a normal life, enjoying every aspect of life. He is able to play golf, club tucked under his chin, football, he can swim, surf despite having no arms. Today, he is being admired worldwide for his positive attitude and willpower. He is humorous, calling his small foot a chicken drumstick. He is very modest. His parents joined him in a mainstream school to make him feel a normal kid. He learned swimming at the age of 18 months, learned typing at the age of 6 years. He is a professional surfer today who can do 360-degree spin on board. He was also felicitated by many awards like Australian Young Citizen of the Year in 1990. He is traveling worldwide and delivering motivational speeches to the various groups of people. He suggests people to get up and keep on going every time we fail in life. Take up the following activities. Read an article from a magazine or a newspaper and try to identify defining and non-defining relative clauses, as many as possible. Read success stories of Sudha Chandran, Alexander Graham Bell and Tanny Gray Thompson. Find out if there is someone in your locality who has overcome disability and leading an inspiring life. Now, test your understanding of the lesson by taking the mock unit test. As part of the culture section, know more about Middle East countries by using the given link. Try to read about following people and their achievements: Sudha Chandran, who is a classical dancer, and Oscar Leonard Carl Pistorius, who is a South African sprint runner. Do you read newspapers regularly? Reading newspaper is not just a hobby, it also has lot of advantages. Let us now observe advantages of reading newspaper. We get to know current events happening around the world. Reading newspaper aloud improves pronunciation. Reading newspaper improves vocabulary. Reading newspaper helps in improving general knowledge.
You can use the given reference links for further information about the lesson, words, and grammar concept we have discussed.
You have successfully completed the section Attitude is Altitude.
So, yesterday we were talking about this personality development. Yesterday we read about Nick Vujicic, the person having no limbs but achieved great heights. And now today we are reading about every success story is also a story of great failure. We know people, they are all great people. That means if at all we see their greatness alone, we see their only one part, one side of the persons we are seeing. We have many great people within ourselves itself, but have we ever questioned them what failures you have come across and how you have utilized those failures to climb to this success? No, we don't ask them. Now first of all, let us think about here. I have written names, about 9 names. One is Abraham Lincoln, 2 Lee D. Forrest, 3rd Wright brothers, 4 Colonel Sanders, Walt Disney, Thomas Alva Edison, Henry Ford, Lee Iacocca, Shiv Khera. Out of these, I am very sure you know him, you know these brothers, and you know this gentleman, and Thomas Alva Edison you know. One more name I should add here, he is Beethoven. So these all are famous in one field or the other. About them we are going to read today. I'll give a reading. Please try to understand how far you can. Of course, a brief explanation will also be given. Every success story is also a story of great failures. Failure is the highway to success. Tom Watson sir said, if you want to succeed, double your failure rate. You see, don't try for a success. Try to double your failure rate and automatically you will be achieving your success. That is what, not me, Watson sir said. If you study history, you will find that all stories of success are also stories of great failures. But people don't see the failures. They only see one side of the picture and they say that person go lucky. He must have been at the right place at the right time. Can we define the time as right or wrong? Or can we define the place, whether it is the right place or wrong place? We cannot. Wherever you are placed, whenever you are placed, that is the right place and right time. Failures, of course, they will come. They come in your way. You are to overcome these failures and you are to reach the success. Because here it is very clearly said, failures are inevitable. They are a must in your successful life. And people see only one side. This is, we are having dorsal side and ventral side. In your geology, you will be taught. This dorsal side is very white. And with this, we cannot simply say the person is very fair in complexion. No, here it is the second side. It is dark side of the hand. And it is dark. So what is the complexion of the man? Is it a success or a failure? We cannot make out because it is a coin having two sides, success and failure. If it is not there, life is rather, I can say, it is sour in taste. To become it is a sweet one, you should have both the things, success and failure. Let me share someone's life history with you. This was a man who failed in business at the age of 21, was defeated in a legislative race at the age of 22, was defeated in a legislative race at the age of 22, failed again in business at the age of 24, overcame the death of his sweetheart at the age of 26 and a nervous breakdown at the age of 27, lost a congressional race at the age of 34, lost a senatorial race at the age of 45, failed in an effort to become the vice president at the age of 47, lost a senatorial race once again at the age of 49, and was elected president of the United States at the age of 52. This man, Abraham Lincoln. A series of failures he was having in his life, but still he struggled to become the president of USA. This man was Abraham Lincoln. Would you call him a failure? No. He could have quit. No, he didn't. But to Lincoln, defeat was a detour and not a dead end. Detour, it is on the way. You are on the journey. Life is, until you die, it is a journey. There may be a comma or a hyphen somewhere or an exclamatory mark, but not a full stop. And don't question yourself. Don't put a question mark. Why me? No. You should put a comma, an hyphen, an exclamatory mark until you reach the full stop. Now, likewise, Lincoln also thought that his life is not defeated. And always he was thinking that he was on the journey till he achieved a great success. In 1913, Lee De Forest, inventor of the triode tube, was charged by the district attorney for using fraudulent means to mislead the public into buying stocks of this company by claiming that he could transmit the human voices across the Atlantic. He was publicly humiliated. Can you imagine where he would be without his invention? Now you see, what are the stocks in a company? Just a brief knowledge we should have. Any company will be running on finance. This finance is arranged through certain banks, that is lending, and certain financial institutions and public. Public will be investing in the company, and that public investment is called as stocks. They will be selling the shares at a face value of rupees 10 and thus they will be collecting money, and that is called as stocks. This man has not done any fraud, but he collected money from the public for what? To run a company, because he was very sure that he has invented some device through which he can transmit human voice from one point across Atlantic to the other point. But people thought he is a deceiver, he is deceiving, it is a deception. Never. He could able to show it that I did it. If at all he was disheartened when he was tried and when he was penalized, there this invention of changing the voice from one place to other across the seas would have been lost there itself in the invention. No, it had come now. We are having many other devices now because the science has improved very much, and with a simple touch of your mobile we are talking to any country here now. A New York Times editorial on December 10th, 1903 questioned the wisdom of the Wright brothers, who were trying to invent a machine heavier than air that would fly. 1 week later, at a Kitty Hawk, the Wright brothers took their famous flight. You see, they were publicly criticized by a very famous newspaper, New York Times. In our earlier classes, we have dealt with two aspects of personality development. One is, as you see here, overcome disability. If you are encountering with any disability, whether it is from the birth or in the middle of your life you are encountering, you are to come over it. You are not sitting there thinking that it is the full stop of our life. No. Put a comma and continue your journey. That is what our Nick Vujicic says in our first lesson. In the second, what we have read is, we have read about many scientists and many people who did not agree for their failure. They have taken failure as their success and reached for the success. Tried and tried and tried, and they reached for the success. Many people who have seen Abraham Lincoln and Thomas Alva Edison, Ford, and many people who have seen. Now we are reading about be positive always. Here, be positive. What does it mean? Yes, we have fed up with. We want to be part away, to go away from it, either from the school or from a job or from service, from somewhere. As you are coming in a positive thinking, you have to leave that part in a positive manner, in a positive thinking. Here we are having a story about a carpenter. I will read the story for you, and you can understand what is called positive thinking and positive thinking always. You see here. An elderly carpenter was ready to retire. He told his employer contractor of his plans to leave the house building business, to live a more leisurely life with his wife and enjoy his extended family. He would miss the paycheck each week, but he wanted to retire. They could get by. Now it is a story of a carpenter. He wanted to get retired. That is, an elderly carpenter was ready to retire. To retire, it is a verb has been used in its non-infinite manner. Non-finite manner. And in the place, retire, in our two lessons, I was very clearly talking about the derivatives of the words. Retire, retirement is the noun. Retire is the verb and retirement is the noun. How to use retirement in this sentence? Let us see. An elderly carpenter was ready to get his retirement. to take his retirement. That way, in the place of retire, we can use retirement and the sentence can be completed. Now, he told his employer contractor. Who was his employer? Contractor, building contractor, of his plans. That is, he wanted to retire. That is, to leave the house building business, to live a more leisurely life. Leisurely, the word. It is not adverb here, though ending with ly. It is adjective because life is there immediately after that. With his wife and enjoy extended family. Extended again here, it is adjective. He would miss the paycheck each week, but he wanted to retire. They could get by. Now they agreed. The carpenter wanted a retirement and the contractor, the building contractor, he agreed, okay, let him go and retire. Why? He wanted a peaceful life to enjoy his family life. Family life, he, himself, his wife and son, and no more. But extended family, that means he had become grandfather, he had grandchildren, he had a daughter-in-law. That is called extended family. He wanted to enjoy with that. So the contractor, as a good fellow, he agreed, okay, enjoy. But he requested, let us see what he requested here. The contractor was sorry to see his good worker go and asked if he could build just one more house as a personal favor. You see how good the employer was. He accepted that his employee can take retirement, but before retirement, he wanted his employee to build one more house. That too, not as a business. What he put over there? As a personal favor. Right? The carpenter agreed. You see, both the employer and employee both were having good relations, and the carpenter readily agreed for it. But over a time, it was easy to see that his heart was not in his work. See, it happens. Because if at all one decides that he wanted to take rest, no amount of money, no amount of persuasion will make anybody to make him work once again. Because already mentally he decided, I want to take rest. Now the same thing happened. Carpenter mentally decided he want to take rest, retirement. But his employer wanted him to do one favor, that is building of the house. So now, can he construct or build the house with the same interest and zeal? A big question mark. Let us see what happens here. But over time, it was easy to see that his heart was not in his work. The heart will not be with at work. The hands may be working, but the whole-hearted presence of the carpenter will not be there because he is mentally prepared to take rest. He resorted to shoddy workmanship and used inferior material. See, now I have decided I want to go for retirement. What can this employer do for me if I do not do a perfect job? What way he can punish me? He cannot. He wanted a favor. I am doing a favor. Let the work go on as the workman wanted to do. So the workmen were doing it. He was not supervising. So the work was very inferior quality work and very shoddy quality of work. And the material which is used, it is inferior. Right? Why? Why this happens? Because he is mentally prepared to take rest, to go retirement. He was not ready to put his whole-hearted concentration on the work. So the work was going very shoddy work is being done over there. It was an unfortunate way to end a dedicated career. You see, you have worked as an engineer, say about 37 years of work you have put, 35 years of work you have put. It was a very dedicated work, very sincere work. But if the last piece of work, if it is not done in a proper manner, the entire 35 years work will be a failure for you. So that is what it is said here. That is, it was an unfortunate way to end a dedicated career. So dedicated career, how to end? At the last moment, I am signing out. I am punching my card out. Till then, the work should be a perfect one. Nobody should question why this piece of work went wrong. Nobody should question. That way we have to work. But here the carpenter, the employer wanted one more house to be built as a favor for him. Here the carpenter, he was mentally prepared for retirement, so he did not supervise the work in a proper manner. The material came in a very inferior material and the work went very shoddy. Very hazard work has been done over there. When the carpenter finished his work, his employer came to inspect the house. Then he handed the front door key to the carpenter and said, "This is your house, my gift to you." Employer wanted a house to be built as a favor, and that work the carpenter, keeping all his lifelong sincere job at stake, he made a very shoddy work. Then the employer comes, hands over the key to the same carpenter and says, "This is your house." Now you see, here, be positive always. At the last moment, the carpenter was not positive. He was thinking in negative way. It is a favor I am doing. Whatever the way I do, the contractor cannot question me. That way he decided and he built the house. Now what happened? The key of the same house which he had built without any attention, without any workmanship, that house had come into his luck. That is it. Means you have worked for the whole year, night and day. You have worked, you have studied, you have read the spellings, you mug up the questions, and you have done practicals. Everything is okay. Project work also you have submitted. Everything is okay. But the last moment finishing touch is your examination. Okay, I have done very well. Now I can do it well. I can do it well and I do it well. There is a hell of a difference. So you should always think up to the last moment my finishing will be very nice. Then you can think you are successful.